looking for that option, but he didn't take it. He didn't feel comfortable taking it for probably great reasons, but from up here, it just looks like he's had so many close calls. But you saw on those narrow streets, so many parked vehicles, and you just have to have the right amount of space to do it. And unfortunately, they just haven't had the right amount of pavement to play with here. But we're now on Ramona Boulevard, another wild left here at a high speed. West Covina looking for that pit opportunity. Here he comes on the right again, that primary unit closing in on the right side, and here he is evading the pit maneuver. Evading the pit maneuver, a right at the red light onto Main Avenue. A right turn on the Main Avenue from Ramona Boulevard. These are very, very haphazard turns, very random, no clear destination in mind. This joyride is continuing through the San Gabriel Valley, now in Baldwin Hills, as West Covina is looking for a chance to spin this vehicle out of control and bring this pursuit to an end. They've had a couple of chances, but so far they have been unable to stop this vehicle. Now doing right around the speed limit again, about 45, 50 miles per hour. Another right turn now onto Los Angeles Street off of Main Avenue. Still 6 West Covina officers in tow here. LA County Sheriff with their Night Sun on it. That helicopter providing some
I'm not
really
sure how long
assistance
this chase has
to the
been
West
going on,
Covina
but it
Police
seems like
Department
it's
here. And now it looks
a
like
rapid
it's picking up
one.
a little more speed, about 70 miles per hour.
There's been a lot
on
of
Los Angeles
chases
Street
lately.
here in Baldwin Hills. Baldwin Park, rather. Baldwin Park. I think I said Baldwin Hills a few times. Baldwin Park, rather, as he continues at a pretty good clip here in excess of 60 to 70 miles per hour. Thank you. And word coming into our assignment desk now, this is a grand theft auto suspect, what appears to be a stolen vehicle, a stolen Toyota Camry out of West Covina. You can see they are continuing to keep the pressure on him here as he makes another random turn there onto Azusa Canyon Road. Again, we're in Baldwin Park, adjacent to West Covina. He's done a few loops around the area, but not really predictable enough to set up for any kind of a spike strip. Although that's not out of the question. Right now, they just haven't had the chance. But in the meantime,
It doesn't look like he knows where he's going.
For a pit
Looks like
maneuver
he's either
if they
trying to
have an
conserve
opportunity. So far,
fuel
they have
or
not been able to execute. But you can see
I
the
don't get
traffic
the
is
vibe that he's
relatively
trying to
light
jack
here,
another
so
car.
if he slows down just a little bit, we might see another attempt here on that left side. Here comes that primary unit riding that center line in the median there, maybe looking to come around his left side. The vehicle still doing about 45 miles per hour. It's a little bit fast for a pit maneuver. Southbound Irwindale.
Only reason that they're not
Southbound
hitting him
Irwindale
at
Ave.
this speed right here and with these opportunities is because they feel that he's got a weapon. That's the only reason.
Here he
that
comes
they haven't
around
hit
the
him.
right
There we go.
side.
Here we go.
And he really has had so many close shots here, but they just can't manage to execute that pit. That primary unit, I got to tell you, that was a good opportunity there, but he must have seen that car up ahead, and you just don't want to have any risk of collateral damage in a situation like this. Cutting through the gas station. Is it a gas station? Yep, cutting through here. Cutting through and coming back onto Sunset Avenue. We've been on Sunset a few times already. We're a little bit further to the west now, but another wide open road here with a median that may allow that West Covina unit to execute that pit one more time, or at least attempt to execute pit maneuver here if he slows down a little bit.
Hi,
Right
baby.
now, again, just going a little bit too fast, making it a little bit too dangerous for a pit. Unclear how many people are inside this vehicle. As we mentioned, those windows are very heavily tinted, only to say that the driver is wanted for grand theft auto. It appears to be a stolen silver Toyota Camry, newer model, apparently out of West Covina, and they are continuing to apply pressure here, and every time they do, you see them speeding up, upwards of now 55 miles per hour under the freeway. That's the 10 freeway, going back in the opposite direction we came from earlier, but generally covering the same territory, which may allow for more units to cover this area and potentially set up for a spike strip. Back in West Covina, turning onto West Covina Parkway now off of Sunset Ave. Here comes another attempt. Here comes the attempt. A pit maneuver, and the officer absolutely chickened out there. Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
shit. Damn, he
Unbelievable.
clowned
This
the
is
officer.
incredible.
I
mean,
think
he's had several
I think
opportunities to go ahead and
these
spin this
people
vehicle
have
out.
a
He may
gun,
just be
and
looking to take a peek
they're like
inside the
toying with the
vehicle.
cops.
Doesn't appear to
Go
be
ahead,
very
do it.
good
See if you want to get
attempt
into a
at these
shootout.
pit maneuvers.
Well,
These are just kind of warning shots,
I'm just thinking
I
of
would
like the most
say, to try and
exciting.
apply a little more
Oh,
pressure.
he's got his arms out.
But here
He's
comes
done.
a hand out the window. The driver
done.
gesturing.
He's got his arms out. He's running out of gas. That's what it is.
Another turn
He's out of
here,
gas.
and we'll see what this. Look, there comes the pit. There it is. A weak shove of that bumper, and really a half-hearted pit attempt there at best. So it's an interesting situation. They've given the go-ahead for the pit. They don't seem to be very confident, or at least that primary unit doesn't seem to be very confident in spinning this guy
I'm just
out.
going to let
And
this
so
guy keep
far,
roasting the
it looks
cops.
like this driver is clearly taking advantage of this of the situation. I got to tell you, we've had at least a half a dozen opportunities for a really good pit, and obviously the go-ahead's been given. We see the damage there. He made decent contact there, but it just wasn't strong enough to disable this vehicle. What a sight here! Really an interesting turn of events.
That's a
Here
big
they've
body.
given the go-ahead, and now
That's a big
things have
body
really
Camry.
amped up. Now that they've gone ahead and made contact with that vehicle, they're more committed, and so is the driver of that vehicle. The driver of that stolen vehicle is now even more intent on outrunning these officers, refusing to pull over, and really starting to speed things up here as he makes his way down Glendora Avenue.
Is there
Another right turn, a random right turn there. That's going to be onto Merced Avenue off of Glendora. Again, this is territory that he is familiar with, as we have been here on several occasions, at least in this general area. It's obvious now as he makes his way into oncoming lanes of traffic, another wild right turn onto California Avenue. Very obvious that his adrenaline is pumping after that pit attempt, and he is not showing any signs of surrender whatsoever. So really speeding up. I don't even think he's going to give him another chance to pit him here. He's really putting a lot more space between him and that primary unit, and that primary unit, who has still remained the same primary unit throughout this pursuit, has just not managed to have the effect of applying pressure or disabling the vehicle. I mean, he has had several opportunities, he or she, but so far it has had the opposite effect of just antagonizing this driver and really amping up the dangerous driving. I mean, the erratic nature of these turns, and at some of these intersections, speeding right through without any even light braking. At some points, just setting up for a real disaster if he encounters cross traffic. Now making his way onto Service Avenue, a right turn onto Service Avenue at 45 miles per hour in a very residential street. He keeps finding these residential areas, slows down occasionally, but I think now that he's feeling that primary officer's pit attempt there, he is just intent on trying to outrun these West Covina officers.
I wonder
It
why
is
he had his
clearly
arm out the window
a
like
full
that.
moon here in the San Gabriel Valley, as we have had about 14 separate pursuits throughout the day today in the Southland. This is just the most recent one, and you can see he's now toying with this officer. This is a real game of cat and mouse, gesturing at that officer with his hand out the window. And now the vehicle comes to a stop. Vehicle comes to a stop. The driver with his hands out. Driver with his hands out.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Officers with their guns drawn. And this might do it. This might be the end. They're actually partially blocking the driver's side there. We'll see if he is able to crawl out. I don't think he may or may not be able to open that driver's side door, but it looks like he's finally giving up here. The vehicle coming to a complete stop. He's communicating with that officer. Two hands out the window. You see a phone? I don't see the phone. He's holding a phone in his hand. There's a phone in his hand. Difficult to make out. It looks like he's communicating with somebody on the phone as he gestures towards these officers. We'll come around and get a better look at the driver here, but he's gesturing at these officers as he's communicating on the phone. He's almost looks like he's FaceTiming. All right, if he wants to open up that driver's side door, he can open up the driver's side door. It's unclear what they're ordering him to do, but whatever they're ordering him to do, it doesn't appear that he's obeying.
Someone needs to get in front of him. Someone needs to pull their car in front of him. See, they're scared that he's got a gun or something.
Where'd he come from? This is a reality show. They're shooting a reality show in the middle of this pursuit. You can see a cameraman and audio tech jumping out of the SUV to capture the action from behind. You have an officer with his gun drawn as they film a TV show at the termination of this pursuit. This is a new one, guys. We've never actually caught me off guard for sure. Now you see continuing to communicate with the driver of the vehicle, who is still
got a straight up boom mic.
has his hands up, but still won't let go of that phone. Won't let go of the phone. You got to wonder if maybe there's a language barrier or something like that. But for whatever reason, it doesn't look like he is. Clearly, he's not obeying with these orders here. So we have a complicated set of circumstances here. You've got a number of officers on the suspect's left and his right with their guns drawn. We can only see the driver. No idea if there's anybody in that back seat or in the passenger seat. It looks like a male suspect. It's a male suspect now with his torso out the driver's side window, very agitated. The door won't open. Door won't open. He's crawling out with his hands up in the air. Hands up in the air, now walking towards that primary officer. You've got a television crew trying to stay behind that officer. I wouldn't say they're keeping their distance, but they are clearly behind this officer, capturing all of this with a much, really close-up views here. We'll be interested to see the video on the other side here, but right now it looks like they are finally able to detain the suspect with his hands on his head, handcuffs being placed on the driver, and I did not see them clear the vehicle, but they must have.
Did we just witness?
Just judging from the posture here, it appears they've peeked inside the vehicle.
For real?
Least. And they must be
this fucking dude
that there's nobody else inside that vehicle.
I don't fucking know. Is this a fucking
windows, I don't know how they were able to clear that vehicle. We can only assume
what the fuck
that it was
just
only
happened?
The driver inside
were they really
that car,
just filming a fucking cops live?
I did not see them adequately.
Or was this like a fucking
vehicle.
or did we just watch?
I think the supervisors will have a field day with this pursuit here in West Covina.
That's crazy.
I guess
that's crazy that they let that fucking that camera that close with that boom mic.
One. But man, an interesting conclusion.
You gotta clear the car now.
To this pursuit.
Man, these motherfuckers be giving up like bitches. Earlier there was a police chase, and they got away. They literally got away. You want to know how? They didn't have any cops following them, So they just pulled up to the front of fucking Walgreens and walked right into Walgreens. And for like an hour, they couldn't find them. I didn't see them arrest anybody.
And now they've cleared the vehicle. They're going to pop the trunk and double check. But really interesting to see them abandon that vehicle like that without, really checking to see at first whether they really had a vehicle that was empty there without any remaining threats inside the car. Just a wild ending to this pursuit in a way that we haven't really seen very often here. But just when you thought you've seen it all.
Is this guy fucking shading the cops even more? Let's hear it.
I think the supervisors will have a field day with this pursuit here in West Covina. And I guess that'll be a wrap for this one. But man, an interesting conclusion to this pursuit. And, what can you say? And now they've cleared the vehicle. They're going to pop the trunk and double check. But really interesting to see them abandon that vehicle like that without, really checking to see at first whether they really had a vehicle that was empty there without any remaining threats inside the car. Just a wild ending to this pursuit in a way that we haven't really seen very often here. But just when you thought you've seen it all, this has been an interesting one. But man, what a wild and weird end to this pursuit.
That's crazy.
One suspect in custody. The Camry has been emptied. We're at the intersection of California Avenue and Cameron Avenue with this pursuit now concluding in about as best of a...
Oh, it concluded on the corner of California and Cameron for the CC in the 33. Golly.
Best case scenario, as you can imagine. Fortunately, nobody hurt here. And another one for the books here in West Covina. Reporting live from Air 7 HD, I'm Chris Christie, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Wow, that was a fucking good one. That fucking helicopter guy, I'd like to listen to all his chases. That dude fucking holds the cop's feet to the fire, bro. Damn, he was roasting them cops. Let's see what happened before we started watching.
Look at that primary unit, another westbound Sunset Avenue, just past the 10 freeway, 60 miles per hour. A Toyota Camry refusing to pull over. Again, looking at that driver's side window, impossible to see inside that vehicle, but it does appear that there may be, it's just a reflection. Thought that might have been a cell phone in the passenger seat there, but West Covina really showing signs of wanting to pit this suspect and end this pursuit quickly, but every time they do, he makes a wild turn or steps on the gas pedal. There's another right-hand turn off of Sunset Avenue, now on Puente Ave at 50 miles per hour, pushing it once again.
He was never really driving erratic or anything like that. He actually drove pretty normal. So, but yeah, that cop or that helicopter guy kept getting triggered when the cops were fucking failing their pit maneuver.
Copy. I think I hear traffic on Covina PD.
Okay, so this will be a failed
he
attempt.
wants it. He
Let's
wants
see what he
it. They're
says.
continuing northbound San Bernardino Road now in Baldwin Hills. Here comes another left turn, another wild left turn. That's going to be Orange Avenue, a westbound turn, or a left turn rather, onto Orange Avenue. West Covina really going for that pit maneuver, but they just haven't had the right opportunity to execute. That primary unit wants it. He keeps pulling up right behind him, but just has not had the chance to safely pull this or spin this vehicle out. So they're continuing now in a much more narrow residential street here, about 20 miles per hour on Ken Oak Drive. Slowing down dramatically, only about 20 miles per hour, well within the threshold for a pit maneuver, but you see all of this property, all of those parked cars, and in a narrow street like this, you just aren't going to see a pit maneuver unless the opportunity provides it and unless there's enough space to effectively conduct that pit maneuver without hurting anybody or damaging innocent property here. So another left turn here, and here comes the pit. Here it comes. Here it comes. He's going to go for it if he comes up on another intersection. Another intersection might allow him to do it. Here it is on the right side. He keeps pulling back. He's gotten so close, so many close calls for a pit maneuver here. Here he is on the right side now on Badillo Street, picking up a little steam, and I think he might have missed a good opportunity there. Still only doing about 35 miles per hour through another red light. And now you see that primary unit starting to fall back just a little bit, but he's looking for that opportunity. He's had a couple of chances, but he didn't take it. He didn't feel comfortable taking it for probably great reasons, but from up here, it just looks like he's had so many close calls, but you saw on those narrow streets, so many parked vehicles, and you just have to have the right amount of space to do it. And unfortunately, they just haven't had the right amount of pavement to play with here. But we're now on Ramona Boulevard, another wild left here at a high speed. West Covina looking for that pit opportunity. Here he comes on the right again, that primary unit closing in on the right side, and here he is evading the pit maneuver. A right at the red light onto Main Avenue. A right turn on the Main Avenue from Ramona Boulevard. These are very, very haphazard turns, very random, no clear destination in mind. This joyride is continuing through the San Gabriel Valley, now in Baldwin Hills, as West Covina is looking for a chance to spin this vehicle out of control and bring this pursuit to an end. They've had a couple of chances, but so far they have been unable to stop this vehicle. Now doing right around the speed limit again, about 45, 50 miles per hour. Another right turn now onto Los Angeles Street off of Main Avenue. Still 6 West Covina officers in tow here. LA County Sheriff with their night sun on it. That helicopter providing some really helpful assistance to the West Covina Police Department here. This is just the phone. I don't see the phone. He's holding a phone to stay behind that officer. I wouldn't say they're keeping their distance, but they are clearly behind this officer, capturing all of this with a much
so another one
really close
gives
up
up
views here. We'll be interested to
like
see
a wanker.
The video on the other side here, but right now
Phone's
it looks
always
like
hot.
they are finally able to detain the suspect with his hands on his head, handcuffs being placed